Well, football, since time immemorial, has been a powerful force that unites people. It has traditionally fostered peace and understanding, transcending differences and bringing communities together. However, the beautiful game has recently shown signs of strain from its cherished values. Incidents stemming from betting and heated arguments have diminished the sportsmanship once prevalent among fans. Alarming discussions about football have escalated into arguments and even physical confrontations among siblings, friends, and colleagues. In some extreme instances, disagreements over football matches have sparked communal clashes. This negative trend has highlighted following the AFCON finals on Sunday, the 11th, which resulted in widespread squabbles. Some aggrieved fans directed their frustration towards Ambazonian refugees who were accused of inciting Nigerian supporters after Nigerians' unfortunate defeat by Cote d'Ivoire. The aftermath of the match saw a disturbing scene unfold on Monday in Nigeria at the Adogan refuge settlement. We have received first-hand images and accounts of the incident from witnesses on the ground. These are some amateur video footages that captures the distress and scene of refugees being forced to flee from the hostile act of retaliation.
All just sounded. That's the whole thing. People moving up and down. Look at women shouting. We all slept in the bush. That's the refugee camp. That's it. They are all just sounded. That's the whole thing. People moving up and down. Look at women shouting. We all slept in the bush. That's the refugee camp. That's it. This is my own house. They break down the whole thing. See it. We slept in the bush. We just come in. All of us were in the bush. Look at even babies. We slept with them in the bush. See what the Adagon people can do. The people where we are, that is in the refugee camp. That's it. Look at all over. Look at how people are stranded. They've destroyed everything. This is a store. They break and looted everything from the store. That is it. They've carried everything from the store. It happened like this last time when Njebe called us for a meeting to see how things can go fine. Same man had to arrest Njebe, went and detain him for close to 1 month. And some refugees, some untrustworthy ones, same like even Molan, whom they are accusing that caused the problem yesterday, was supporting them. These are the plantains. They have just chopped down these plantains with cutlasses. That's it. See how people are suffering. Food, there is no food, no water, nothing. Look at the taps. The people have destroyed all the taps. Look at children needing water this morning. They have cut down everything. They've destroyed all the taps. Look at the water pipes. They have cut down everything. No water. Look at the tank. See, they have cut all the tank with cutlasses. They cut with cutlasses. No water inside here. Children need water this morning to drink. Nothing. Look at them. Look at the doors of the kitchen. They break into the kitchen. Look at how everything is. All this they did with cutlasses and axes. See the houses. See people's houses, how they are. See how the houses are. This is part complaining from Adagon settlement.
Good morning, sir. Good day, sir. It is true. All the pictures and the videos you are seeing is what is going on in Adagom 1 settlement. Myself, I was held captive to stay indoors throughout yesterday, Monday, because of the insecurity and the boys blocked the whole road. No way for me to get access to the town. Our children could not go to school. And this is what the Southern Cameroonian refugees are facing here in Nigeria. But thank God for the UNHCR that is trying to mitigate the situation, as they sent a truck of soldiers yesterday to Adagom 1 to calm down the situation. But so far today, everywhere is calm, and I've been able to pass. The road is clear. So that is what actually happened in Adagom 1 refugee settlement here in Abuja, Cross River State, Nigeria.
Oh, well, before we delve deeper into what you see going on, we'll take a closer look at Adagom 1. Well, Adagom 1 is the largest and most populated settlement involved in the UNHCR's efforts in Nigeria. Often referred to as the Mother's Camp, it currently provides official shelter to more than 9,000 refugees as recognized by the United Nations Refugee Agency. Nevertheless, there is a significant number of additional refugees who live informally with relatives and friends within the area. The settlement has recently experienced a surge in new arrivals following violent incidents in parts of Cameroon.
Well, consequently, the estimated total population of Adagom 1, including these unofficial residents, is around 12,000. The settlement is comprised of 41 communities and operates with a sophisticated leadership structure, which includes a central leadership council and 5 specialized committees. These committees are dedicated to finance, youth, environmental concerns, women affairs, sports, and humanitarian services, in addition to engaging numerous stakeholders.
Well, most refugees who come to Ogoja tend to initially settle in Adagom 1 due to its proximity to the motor park and its status as the most established amongst the 3 settlements in Ogoja. We have secured an audio recording of testimony from an eyewitness whose account you would find compelling.
Good morning, sir. Good day, sir. It is true. All the pictures and the videos you are seeing is what is going on in Adagom 1 settlement. Myself, I was held captive to stay indoors throughout yesterday, Monday, because of the insecurity and the boys blocked the whole road. No way for me to get access to the town. Our children could not go to school. And this is what the Southern Cameroonian refugees are facing here in Nigeria. But thank God for the UNHCR that is trying to mitigate the situation, as they sent a truck of soldiers yesterday to Adagam 1 to calm down the situation. But thus so far today, everywhere is calm, and I've been able to pass. The road is clear. So that is what actually happened in Adagam 1 refugee settlement here in Abuja, Cross River State, Nigeria.
Sadly, the incident that unfolded in Adagon 1 yesterday has left many in disbelief following the Nigerian Ivory Coast march on Sunday. Tensions were running high. Unfortunately, the aftermath was marred by an uncertain account. An eyewitness reports that a refugee was attacked for supporting Ivory Coast as Nigeria conceded defeat to the Ivory Coast. Frustrations boiled over and the resulting hostilities targeted refugees in the Adagon 1 camp. Over the past weekend, Nigerians had been emotionally invested in the game as their team faced a tough opponent in the finals against Cote d'Ivoire. Social media platforms, particularly X, witnessed an especially bitter exchange of taunts, and some people did not hold back in their criticism of Nigeria's performance. It is both shocking and deeply regrettable that the online banter degenerated into physical violence within the confines of the refugee camp. This aftermath is a solemn reminder that no sporting event should ever overshadow the fundamental principles of human dignity. Although the football players in return would definitely get back to their expensive livelihood, the repercussions of the match outcome are far more severe for those caught in the consequence of havoc. Despite this context, it is perhaps worth considering that the refugees would have demonstrated greater empathy by aligning themselves with their host nation during such a critical sporting event. While seeking asylum, showing apparent support for Nigeria might have been a more sensitive approach. Football is often heralded as a force that unites people, and showing solidarity with the host during times of defeat is part of that spirit. To mock or to be perceived as not supporting Nigeria could be construed as inconsiderate, regardless of whether the actions were intended as playful banter or not.
Well, eyewitnesses have reliably informed Undaunted that numerous individuals were injured and subsequently hospitalized, while others attempted to flee to undisclosed locations due to the ensuing unrest. The atmosphere within the camp is one of palpable fear as campers come to terms with their current reality. An eyewitness also spoke with our reporters describing a harrowing scene where irate individuals armed with machetes stormed the camp and commenced the destruction of buildings. Further disturbing details emerged as the eyewitness disclosed the disappearance of funds which were allegedly taken by these assailants. Such revelations inevitably lead to pressing questions about the nature of their intentions. Are they merely expressing outrage, or do they also harbor criminal motives? Anger can certainly spark protest, but when it escalates to the point of jeopardizing lives and destroying property, one must confront the possibility of underlying thievery.
Well, other residents described how the community was held captive, with students and pupils unable to attend school due to the blocked roads. This disturbance persisted from Sunday till Monday evening, raising questions about whether the conflict was solely over football or other things. However, reports indicate that peace has been restored since security forces were dispatched to the area.
Well, we acknowledge with earnest attention the swift action that was taken by the government of Ambazonia in response to the critical situation faced by refugees in Adagamon. Prompted by the urgent need to alleviate their hardship, there has been a commendable deployment of resources to extend much needed relief. Earlier, the Secretary of State for the Department of Health and Social Services, Dr. Emmanuel Tita, conveyed the government's stance and outlined their immediate measures during a discussion on the ABC Amba TV Club forum. In his own words, Dr. Tita wrote, "Greetings everyone, I would like to address the distressing incident that transpired in the Dagomwan refugee settlement on Sunday, February 11th, 2024, where our people suffered an attack by some members of the Nigerian community within the area. In response to this, the Department of Health and Social Services has swiftly mobilized resources. We have sent funds to our representatives on the ground. This will enable them to purchase whiskey and red wine for a meeting with the youth leaders and chiefs of the Adagamwan refugee community. The purpose of this meeting, scheduled for Tuesday, February 13th, 2024, is to solicit the assistance in de-escalating the situation, allowing our people to safely return to the settlement. Our representatives on the ground are closely monitoring the developments and will continue to keep us informed." He ends it with "thank you." And would just say thank you to Dr. Tita because that was indeed proactive. And these assertions underscores the government's commitment to addressing the crisis with both immediacy and sensitivity. Fortunately, we have people like Dr. Tita here this evening to give us more details and take questions. Dr. Tita is here with us. Good evening, Dr. Tita.
I'm so sorry I was muted there. Good evening again, Star Smart. Good evening, Onye. Greetings, everyone in the studio. Greetings, fellow viewers. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here tonight to talk to you guys about what is actually unfolding in Adagon 1 in Nigeria. That's in Ogoja, Cross River State. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
You're welcome, Dr. Tita. Well, first things first, we really do commend your proactive step towards the crisis and the unrest that ensued in Adagon 1. But then you saw the scenario, how it even got to this point in the first place. What's your take on the whole situation? What do you think could have been done differently? And how do you hope to get this whiskey and pacify or get the hierarchy leaders involved to de-escalate the matter like you wrote in your letter this morning?
Yeah, thank you so much for that question, Star Smart. I must say that this was not something that we had predicted. This is not something that we could have thought of. This is not something that we could have imagined. We all value football very much, and especially the African Nations Cup. One of the things we want to encourage, we know that we live in a world of freedom of speech and freedom of opinion, where everyone is encouraged to have an opinion. And we know that the refugees themselves are individuals that a lot of them should be or probably are expert in sports analysis, and they can predict sometimes the outcome of these games. I think that's where we have the problem with, because we have the group of people that have predicted that Nigeria was going to win, and then we had others that were predicting that Ivory Coast was going to win, and some went to the extent of, based on what I'm hearing, went to the extent of carrying out a bet. Now at the end of the game, the unfortunate situation now unfold, because we know that going into these final games, one team is going to win. It's not that they're going to be a draw. One team is going to win. Now, who's going to be the absolute winner? I can tell you from my own analysis, the day before the finals, I predicted that Nigeria was going to win 3-1. Unfortunately, it did not go out that way, because football is played in the court and not at the bar, or yes, to say at the bar, drinking there at the bar and stuff like that. So it's played in the court, and sometimes the teams can can play. We can have a team that plays extremely well, and then for some one reason or another, something just didn't go well, and they lost the game. I could not believe that Nigeria was going to lose that game. To be honest with you, so that was a big surprise to me. As a matter of fact, at our home here in the United States, we actually hosted a watch party where we had others, Nigerians, and everyone that came to watch the game, and we were all shocked about the outcome of the game. Yes, we people are allowed to have freedom of opinion, freedom of speech, so that can help us so we can look into everyone's opinion as well. What was unacceptable was the outcome. It's We want to condemn strongly, in very strong terms, the destruction that unfolded after that game. It's unacceptable for what we saw there, that people were being attacked, people were being provoked. It's unacceptable that the water tanks were damaged or destroyed. People don't have water. It's all unacceptable. That people's crops were being destroyed even after the game, because these are people's livelihood. The people live on this. Like you said, that the football players will go after and be living a good life like they normally do, and our people were not really. They were affected so bad from that outcome. Yes, I know during your presentation, it is stated very clearly that, of course, if Nigeria is the host, our host nation, it's obvious that we must become fans for the Nigeria Super Eagles, on the ground. And so the refugees on their they had a role to play, which was obviously support the Nigerian team. I must say that at the level of the department, even though we tried to act swiftly when this had occurred, I wish we had predicted this to make sure that we could have issued a communique where to inform our people, just as we've always done. Our people are aware that why in Nigeria they cannot hold any political opinion. That is, they are aware of that. So this was supposed to be something that maybe we could have put out at the level of the department to make sure that we inform our people in making sure that if they have an opinion, that opinion, they have to be careful how they make their opinion known, and they should avoid provocation and anything of that nature, and also avoid inciting violence of any type. But once this got to the department, we immediately acted on it. We called and tried to reach out to our representatives on the ground, and immediately we were able to try to get ones to the ground for them to immediately rush out to the community leaders. Like I said, they met with their youth leaders today, and they met with the chiefs as well in Adagon today, in making sure that they try to de-escalate the issue. As you guys, ABC rightly reported, that calm was restored. The roads that were blocked were all opened up, because the roads were blocked where the kids could not, even our children could not go to school. They were opened up, but this is thanks to the great work of the UNHCR that it requested, or the military, to even come into the settlement. Even today, myself, I did reach out to UNHCR representative on the ground, which they also confirmed that everything has been cleared and our people are now safe, to return to their homes. Our representatives, like I said, were on the ground meeting with the leaders and the chiefs. At the same time, they're going to do an assessment of the damage, those, because I think a lot of homes, their doors or windows were destroyed. They're going to do an assessment of the destruction and send it over to the department, and so we can look into it and see how we can raise some funds to provide help to those that were really impacted. Also, our representative did notice that there were some others that were injured. We are trying to still keep a head count on how many Southern Cameroonian refugees were injured. They're still gathering that information. They're not done yet. As we're speaking, they're still on the ground looking to see those that are wounded and stuff, to make sure that we try and provide them the help that they need. Thank you so much for that question.
All right, Dr. Teacher. But before we let you go, are we certain? Are we certain that this crisis was caused by a mere football banter? Now, why I became unsure in one of the videos, one of their eyewitnesses whose house was raided, he complained of being robbed over some amounts of money that he apparently kept at home. And thinking about it logically, it may just be that how if you want to ask some very pertinent question here, you might wonder how did they know he had such amount of money at home. So in thinking wide and in order to also ensure that such clash wouldn't happen, I think we must be certain that such crisis does not occur. But my core question here is, how are we sure, with all of the other damages that we've seen from the videos, from the images emanating from Adogum 1, how are we sure that it is their football banter that actually caused it? Because, once we can get down to the root of the matter, we can actually solve all of the issues from there.
Thank you so much for that question. I mean, I think I also did pick it up when I was watching that video about the amount of money that said was missing. The first thing that I asked myself is, how did the refugee have this amount of money at home?
Information as well,
That's
yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I was like, how did they have this amount of money at home? But one of the things I must admit is that a lot of the refugees are very hardworking. Southern Cameroonians are very hardworking people, and a lot of them on the ground, despite the fact that they're refugees, are doing everything they can in order to help support the family. I know that there's the 2,700 naira that the UNHCR staff is giving. It's enough. So they have to do everything possible to make sure that they are able to raise some money either by farming, by poultry, or piggery that they do there on the ground, in making sure that they help their family. So to some extent, I see that they can raise some those most of those that are very hardworking can raise that amount of money to have it at home. Now, to your question, is it that something that was premeditated? The bad guys, I'll call them the bad guys. They always sit around and look for an opportunity. And when an opportunity comes, they see this as an opportunity for them to rise and do their bad job, do that they want to do. So that's how I say it. I'm not going to rush to conclude that there was some premeditated stuff. I just think that it just happened, and those that want to commit a crime, the criminals want to commit the crime, they always jump in there in that opportunity, in doing whatever they want to do. Now, what are we going to do as a department going forward from this situation? One of the things we want to do is to help educate the community or help reach out to the community like we just did. We've always done this, as a matter of fact, before going out for any outreach that the government carries on the ground. We do make an effort to reach out to the chiefs and the local leaderships. We've always done that. And with their permission or authorization, before we are able to go ahead and do the outreaches that we do. But now, what we will do now different is that it's not only meeting the leadership, our representative will make an effort in making sure that they create an opportunity to educate the average host people. Like, so it's not only at the level of leadership that there's communication. We want to make sure that the Nigerians that are living in those local villages, they are aware of the importance of living together in a peaceful manner. So those are some of the initiatives that we're going to try to carry out. I'm also going to say that even most of our outreaches that we do, and we get while reaching, giving, distributing food to the refugees, we also make sure that the locals, the Nigerian locals that live in the host communities, get the food as well. So this government have never discriminated when we're doing food outreaches. We go straight into those areas and we distribute to the refugees and to the host communities as well. So to make sure that it brings peace among all of them. So we're going to continue in that aspect, in educating the host communities and making sure that they know that it's a peaceful thing and it's a good thing for the refugees to come in and live within their community, and to know that we are our brothers and our sisters keepers. And if there is something that was supposed to come up, we have to try to see how to resolve the issue and not try to escalate the issue. So we always have to look for the good in everything that happens. So, but yes, we will continue to do that. Our team is still, like I said, is still on the ground. They've been on the ground for over how long? Ever since this morning that they went out there. They're still gathering information. We're making sure that we get the right information about everything that's happening. Like I said, at this moment in time, because our people ran into the bushes, we are still trying to keep a head count of how many Southern Cameroonian refugees were injured. At the moment, we've got report now, it's not confirmed yet, that two people of the host community were injured. They were in the hospital. We do have some images that has come in as well, that our reps went there to take the videos to meet them. So we are still waiting to keep a count on how many Southern Cameroonians got injured during this process, during this unrest.
All
Thank you
right,
so much.
Dr. All right, Dr. Tita. While we're waiting to see the scores from the UNHCR, you mentioned that the HCSS has already met with the chiefs on the ground in regards to the matter to mitigate the issue. What do you think we should hope for? What do we hope for?
Said we are hoping, uh, of course, if they show the leaders within the other community, apparently some of them were hurt. Only there at the level of the community, Nigerians all over the world were hurt about the defeat. Nobody wants to be. Even though second place position in the AFCON Nations Cup is still a good position, but still, it feels like the most hurt. Even the third place seemed more appreciated than the second position. But Nigerians across the world were hurt about the defeat, and yes, we're here to sympathize with our fellow Nigerian brothers and sisters. We'll continue to do so. We are hoping that the youth leadership and the community leadership, as well as the chiefs, they're going to send out a message to the community for everybody to come and let peace reign so we can live together as brothers and sisters that have been living together for the past years. So we're hoping that that should be done. But so far, everything looks good from our point, from the level of the UNHCR, from the level of the Nigerian authority, SEMA, and Nigerian military that went into there. They've done everything that they can to bring peace. And from at the level of this at the level of this government, sorry, at the level of this government, I want to thank the Nigerian authorities. I would like to thank the UNHCR for doing the good work that they've done. Thank you so much.